This is step 6 of a 7-part series on the very basics in using a type of software known as the SRC for you. SRC stands for Search, Remove, Clear, or Stress Reduction Companion, or Spiritual Real-Time Connection, whichever way you want to go with this. Now, this is work being done with the etheric body, which is an area of energy outside the human body. It's known as our blueprint. Some people call it the aura. It is not work with the physical body. It isn't to diagnose or treat or cure or do anything at all medical. This is pure stress management. The approach is that the SRC for you sends the energy of virtual Qigong, which helps to clear stress patterns and therefore raise the voltage, which is measurable, by the way, of the human body. The higher the voltage, the better, for many reasons. So if you do have a physical condition, you should seek the advice of your healthcare provider immediately. So as you proceed with this work, you may be having some paradigm shifts. You may be realizing that so much you were taught was actually wrong. It's very interesting to start having a different kind of vision about the realities of some of the things in our life. And one of the most interesting paradigm shifts may be that you realize true change is achieved by raising voltage. And I like to take ice as an example. If you have ice, you can pour hot water on it and it'll melt. However, if the temperature remains at 32 degrees, the ice is going to return and it's probably going to be worse. You've made it more slippery now. And that's kind of how this work is as well. Our focus is not on solving problems or fixing anything. Our problem is purely, our challenge is to raise voltage. And that's what we're hoping to accomplish with sending virtual Qigong into the human etheric field. There's a lot more to come, but for right now, since we're up to the next to the last in this series, you might want to ask yourself some questions. First of all, are you physically capable of understanding these concepts? It is totally different from what most of us have been acclimated to. Are we emotionally capable? Are we mentally? Are we spiritually capable? Is it in your comfort zone? And so with these questions, I'd like to now demonstrate another feature of the SRC for you that could actually help you with that. Okay, so this time I've just got an individual in, a volunteer, and I've just labeled it my client, and I've optimized connection. And what we're going to do now, this is an interesting application, this little find options button right up here in the corner. And I'm going to give you some ideas on different ways you could use it, but let's just start with seeing how you understand on a subconscious level what we're really doing. So we're going to take this first statement, I am physically capable of understanding these concepts. We're going to highlight it. And we're going to go up here to this Find Options button. Let me just give you an example of how this works. We're going to place our question here in the top box. I don't really do much with this holding tray. You see, you have a lot of applications you could use here. I'm not personally going to work from this direction at this point. We'll do this in later sessions. But right now, I've got a question. I've got a statement, really. I'm going to paste it in here. Nope, I'm not, because what I had already pasted was in here. Let's do it again. Let's do this again. Remember, you can't do it wrong with the SRC. So I've just pasted in the statement I had copied. I am physically capable of understanding these concepts. Let me tell you how this might work. If you were to picture the ocean, and the ocean has one thing in it, and that's a cork. Our conscious mind is the cork. You answered this question so far from the cork. The ocean represents your unconscious mind. Of course, the ocean just bounces that cork around like nobody's business. That's what we're hoping to avoid. What we want to know is information. We want to have information from a deeper level, which you can do with software. So when I put this question or any question in here and I hit search, I'm going to see a number found in this box right now. And what I'm taught by Grandmaster David Harris is that when this number is 1,000 or less, that means this is in our etheric field, which means yes, it would be a yes, that yes, this client is physically capable of understanding these concepts. So let's hit search. So the first one, you can see this is really out of her field. She may be doing the work, but it still really hasn't grounded itself. Now I like to ask 3 times, so let's go in here. Let's ask again. Number's a little lower. Let's clear all. And let's ask again. So in all fairness, this person really hasn't yet quite grounded themselves in these concepts. So let's go ahead and clear. And why not use some of the other tabs here? For example, how about we go to the charger and just put this in. You can work with the charger with so many affirmations, etc. Let's just put that in. Search, add, done, and let's just give it a minute. We could go into the Shen and we could put resistance. So that again now is one approach. So look, we highlighted the second, and I hope my copy thing works. Okay, I am emotionally capable of understanding these concepts. All right, so on an emotional level, there's little stress. So the physical level is where the stress is at this point. And you can see that charge is completed. So let's go to the third question. I am mentally capable of understanding these concepts. Again, we get a 2341, and again, I like to ask 3 times. There seems to be a real special power to the number 3, 4079. Okay, so on a mental level as well, there's some stress related to this. So we can clear this, go to the Show Tool tabs, paste this in, hit enter, or rather, excuse me, hit search, add, done with charge, and start. Let's check the spiritual level. Remember, we're looking for a number under 1,000. Again, on a spiritual level, there's some stress. So in just a moment, we will also send some energy to clear that, if possible. We're going to work to raise voltage in this area. So you can see the other charge was completed. I'm going to hit search, add, done with charge, start charging. And finally, this work is within my comfort zone, so I'll hit the options. Again, a higher number. This indicates more relations away from the etheric field. Again. So again, you can see that this is intimidating to this person at this point, and this is actually how most of us start out. It takes time because it is so different from anything we've ever been taught. So again, here we go. This is over. And it just depends on your own degree of motivation, but if you continue with this work, it will validate itself. One thing that might help is you could tap the thymus and say adjust 3 times, and then I am aligned and open. And the thymus, if you recall the old Tarzan movies where he pounded his chest, that's the thymus. And the thymus it's a good thing to pound that a little bit once in a while anyway. It is our anti-aging and also our immunity. So just some things to think about. I'm going to show you a few more ways this Find Options button can be used. We'll do more work down the road on this, but this Find Options button can be used in so many ways. It can scan and get information on one item, or you can work with a list. Just let me give you a quick example. You might perhaps have a dream of releasing some weight. So let's just say you type that goal in here, or you could type it in affirmation form. It doesn't matter. Let's just say weigh 125 pounds in a perfect and correct. Let's just say weigh in and maintain a weight of 125 pounds in a perfect and correct way. Now I'm going to correct it because I'll ask 3 times, but let's see if this person actually has this goal in their field. So first we have a 6794, which again we're looking for 1,000 or less. 2185. 3641. So from what I have learned over the years, if whatever our goal, if this number in here isn't 1,000 or less, it's not in our field. We've got resistance. We've got to see what we really want. And this has really been helpful for goal selecting. We'll do a goal session another time, but you get the idea. With the Find Options button, you can take any kind of a list and scan it. So here's, for example, I made a list of essential oils for myself. I'm going to hit the Find Options button and paste this list in the top. You can see it's all in there. Search. And I'm just going to add results and scroll down, see what's under 1,000. So I would then have an idea which oils I might wear today. So far it looks like I want Angelica. There's cardamom, Christmas spirit. You get the idea. Here's another example. Remember the general expert options? Here's a list of those options, and I've got this list in the written material from all these YouTubes on my website. So right now, so you can have this list. You don't have to type it out, but let's go ahead and copy this. And again, let's just find the options. Paste in the top box. Add results. So right now you see area 277. Defense mechanisms 861. I'm looking for anything under 1,000. Injury 151. Relationships 778 and on down. So I have some information, and let me just give an example how to go even a little bit deeper. So let's just take area because that was 277. Show tool tabs. Let's go to the general options. Let's go to area, and let's start just by hitting the down arrow on your keyboard. All right, now let's just copy this. Hit the Find Options, Search, And again, you have some information. We've got chakra, intuitive discernment, circulatory plexus, and you can go on down the list, see what's under 1,000. You might want to go ahead and make a note, or perhaps cut and paste this onto a Word document to have some ideas as to where the stress lies as far as what you want to then put in. You take that out, clear this, go to your show tool tabs and begin to select what has come up. So for example, there's chakra, intuitive discernment. You just place that in, and so on and so forth. This find options button is invaluable, and we have many lists which you'll be provided. Here's an example. This is 5 root causes of stress. Again, we're not working with disease, we're working with stress. The 5 root causes that could be lowering our voltage. I'm going to copy that. Find options. Paste. And again, just some guidance. So this particular person, this is more of a psychological or spiritual stress. We've got some information, we've got some ways to go. Again, all etheric field. So I hope that as we go along, some of this makes sense and that it does help you. For example, now we could go ahead and we could pick a theme instead of just doing auto select. So let's go down and see if we can find spiritual. There we go. Let's put spiritual in. And we've got chakra, intuitive discernment over here, which seems to tie in. We can go ahead and hit our wonder click. Do any analysis we would like, either with the dowsing tool, or we could simply let the software work with this on its own. Just start the session. So here we've got a change resistance to being healthy. We could go into the supercharger, and again, I like to always make sure I clear water, but let's put my client's house. There may be some spiritual stress, and let's put clear all that stuff. This all that stuff terminology, this is what the software recommends. I know that I said this before, but it's a new concept that when you type in or select all that stuff, the software then knows what to clear. Search, and since this is a house, let's just go ahead and do it for 10 weeks. Let's hit the 5 minutes. Let's go back to the Nagong and see what the auto select is. Attitude clearing and emotional clearing. So again, just another example. There won't ever be an end to examples. Your creativity is probably already kicked in and you're getting all kinds of ideas. But again, thank you so much for following along.